Hello and welcome! Today we are going to be comparing this off-brand of acrylic paint marker to the ever-popular Posca marker. Stay tuned to see what happens. So I do have more colors in this off-brand. Here they are. I just pulled out the ones that are most similar to colors that I have in my Posca markers. So I long ago threw away the packaging these came in, but I was smart enough to know I wanted to do this video at some point and took a picture of it. So here is what the package looked like. For this test, we will be doing the exact same drawing, first with these and then with these, and see what we think. Or maybe we'll do them simultaneously. We'll find out. For our comparison, I figured we would start with these canvas textured boards. We received these in a subscription box, and we might as well use them up. The black ones worked really well with the Posca markers. We will try them with this and see what happens. I also feel very inspired by the front cover of the Smart Art brochure that you just saw in my last video. I'll link that up there for you. So I wanted to kind of do a painting with these Posca markers, very similar to this, Posca and generic markers. I thought that would be really fun. And then I just shook these a lot, and I can't see it as much now, but it looked like these have already separated a little bit, even though I just shook them. But I can't see inside of the black Poscas because they have that solid black barrel where these are see-through. So I'm curious what these would look like if we could actually see in there. But regardless, we'll make sure we shake them up really good before we use them each time to make sure that hopefully we're getting an even comparison. So I just have the two boards here. I'll tape them down, probably one on top of the other. I don't know what you guys can see better, maybe side by side. I'm starting with the off-brand, and I want to get a light blue, so I'm trying to put some white in with the blue to see what I can do. I'm having trouble already, you guys. I just put the paint out here and it's clumping into these chunky things, and I can't even do anything with it. There, I got some more white out. Maybe I just didn't have, I don't know. Wow, that's so weird. I just wanted to get a lighter blue. I don't know what this clumping is all about. Well, the clouds are kind of random anyway, but wow. I don't know. This experiment may be over before it even started. Granted, I did receive these as a birthday gift in 2019. So it's not like they're exactly new. They're kind of old. I just didn't expect them to be kind of gummed up like this. Because when I did the palette fill packs, I pulled this green out of my old stash instead of opening the brand new one that we got because I already had it. There was no need to open the new one when I had this one, and it worked just fine no matter how old it was, and I can tell you that was probably pretty old. It's like I can't get enough paint on the nib, or the nib is too stiff or something. It's like the moment it touches that blue too, like the white seems okay all on its own, but it's not happy about touching that blue. Yeah, that blue is just a gummy-gobby disaster. Well, we're gonna keep going because maybe it's just the one color, although like I'm not getting white like on this nib, and that nib had never been used before. I don't know if you saw that in the beginning, but this marker had never even been primed previously. I think you guys can see the struggle that I'm having with this marker. It's pretty challenging getting this little bit of color into this spot. Pushing down and holding like this is nothing I would do with my Poscas, because you do that with a Posca and you're just going to end up with this monstrous puddle of paint. But I don't seem to have that problem with these. I just continued to struggle with this guy and finally just kind of finished what I needed to with it. Couldn't get the white nib clean, but oh well. Alright, let's do the same thing over here with the Poscas. I think this blue's a little bit darker. I did shake these ahead of time, but I'm going to shake them a little bit again here. Okay, let's see if we get some of this white. See how quickly that comes out. Some of the blue. Whoa, Nelly. Patience, patience. See, that's why you don't want to just push down the Poscas on your drawing itself, because they really come out. Wow, that's a big difference already. Oh, I just pushed down on the drawing itself, but that's because I had a lot of blue that I didn't really want. It's actually a really light blue in this drawing there. Painting, I should say. Okay, so the white's not like coming off on... Ooh, I barely pushed down on this Posca and it just kind of made a mess everywhere. Barely pushed down. Like, I'm like, oh, I could use a tiny bit color. I was thinking about pushing down, and so my hand kind of pushed down a little, and then I just got a lot of color. I'm just kind of getting a mess on the tip there. So even with this one, I'm not getting the marker itself to like really lay down a color without pushing on it, and then I get the big splooge of color. So it's not just the marker, so that's good. I mean, this one definitely feels better. It's spreading a little bit more easily than the other one, but I'm still not getting like that full marker lay down of color. So that's interesting. I wonder if it's the surface a little bit, and I did just push down there. I just need a lot more white. It's a good thing this is more of like that impasto abstract-y style. Not abstract, just stylized, I guess. And while the Poscas were not perfect on this surface by any means, they were easier to work with than the other ones. Now we need some aqua for these bushes back here. And now I'm just going to let you see the process with some nice music, but I will join you at the end for a lot of things to say and some updates, so definitely stay tuned for that. Here is some nice music for you. Talk to you very soon. I believe we're done, I think. So this one definitely looks more cohesive, like it's filling in the paper texture a lot better, and the nibs worked better, the paint flowed nicer, it covered more nicely. The colors were actually slightly better, at least in the pink, but this is a lighter pink. So right away, we're comparing a lighter pink to a hot pink. So it's maybe not completely fair to compare just the pinks, but I had a lot of trouble with the nib on this white one. The paint just doesn't come off very well. But the white on this one comes off pretty well. And granted, I had like some dirtiness on the nib, but you know, once that goes away, you can still get paint off of it. The other one, you just can't get the paint off of the nib. It just is too stiff. And then look at the difference in the yellow, the coverage on the yellow back here in the background. Like this is definitely more opaque and covering more, but it's amazing how close these greens could get when I mix them with white. Now that was really hard to do with the STA brand, the Crafty Parrot brand. Much easier to do with the Posca brand. Same with any of the mixing that I did over here on the palette. Much easier with Posca. So I don't have any other off-brand acrylic markers to try other than like one yellow that I got in a subscription box. But I have seen reviews out there for the Molotow, I think that's how you pronounce it, acrylic markers. So I will find a few that I really enjoy, the reviews on those, and I will link those in the description box below for you so that you can have more to look at than just these. These are still available on Amazon. They're $1 more than they were when I received them, but they're still half the price of the Poscas. Really, the only one I had a lot of trouble with was this white nib. I don't know, it's a little harder to get the the paint out of these than the others. It really takes time and they just don't cover that nib as well. But I'm only trying it on this particular board too, not just regular paper. So there's a lot of variables that could go into how this actually ends up. But if I had to choose right away and I was looking for a more opaque acrylic marker, I would still pay the price and use the Poscas over these. But I'm glad I finally got to get these out and use them, and I will find other projects to use them on so that I can use them up, and I will not rebuy them again. Stay tuned for just a second. I do have some updates on a few other things. We'll get right into that now. As far as the updates, let's start with this Himi Mia set. This is the one that we are trying to use all of and see how long it takes. And I haven't been able to paint with these again since the last video, but I did go ahead and go into all my old footage and add up the square inches of every painting, every swatch sheet that I've done, and I created a spreadsheet. I'll put that up on the screen for you guys to check out. So I do have a spreadsheet where I will be keeping track of all this, and I will get to painting with these a lot more. And then the other update is this incredible set of paints from Diane. Oh my goodness, I still can't. The gorgeousness of it just gets me every time. But I did get these all cut apart, and so now I just have to lay them out on the desk and rearrange my palette and see what order I want to put them in. And it's cool because I wrote the name of every single paint on the back of these swatch sheets, so I actually got to know every paint that's in here, and that was such a treat. So we are working on this. It's just kind of behind the scenes. I am filming little snippets of it, so you guys will be able to come along with me when I finally get some progress done on that. Well, that's it for the updates. Thanks so much for joining me today. See you guys in the next video. Bye for now. I don't know if you could hear this in the background. I was playing with these. So we received. But I'm glad I finally got to get these out and use them up, and not use them up, but I'll put that up on the board. I've been a teacher for a while, can you tell?